Hello my dear students, so today's topic is types of capital or classification of capitals. So here today we are going to discuss the types or the classification of capital. So capital can be classified into various types. Okay, we will discuss one by one. So first one we have fixed capital. Number one we have fixed capital. So first you have to understand what is fixed capital. It is the type of capital which can be used again and again. So fixed capital is a type of capital that can be used again and again. Okay, so when we are using the same capital goods, whether it is machinery, equipments, tools, again and again in the production process, then that type of capital is called fixed capital. Example we can take. Example we have machines, equipments, tools, etc. We can consider a factory building, etc. So these are the things, okay? These are the things, machines, equipments, tools, factory building, we can use again and again in the production process, and that type of capital, since these tools, factory buildings, machine, equipments, these all are part of capital. Okay, and when we are using that capital again and again in the production process, that type of capital is called fixed capital. Okay, now next one we have circulating capital. Second one we have So next concept we have circulating capital or a working capital. So it is a type of capital, okay, goods which is used in the production only once. Okay, so the type of capital goods which is used in the production only once. Type of capital goods which is used in the production only once. So it is also a type of goods, capital goods, but that will be used only once. Okay, and that type of capital goods is called circulating capital or a working capital. Now I will give you example. What commodity or what goods can be considered as a working capital or circulating capital? So that is your example. We can take raw materials, fuel, etc. are the example of a working capital or circulating capital. Now how these raw materials? Suppose a cotton, okay, cotton is used to produce clothes. Now once the cotton, okay, whatever the cotton we have already used in the production of clothes, that same cotton cannot be used in the production of another clothes. So that amount of cotton will finish. Once we will use, that will finish. Similarly, fuel, okay, once the fuel is already used in the vehicle, that cannot be regenerated and again used in the production of any items or for running or riding that vehicle. So once it is used, the fuel will also finish. So that type of capital is called a working capital, because that will be used only once. Okay, that is the difference between fixed capital and circulating capital or working capital. So in the case of fixed capital, we have seen that the machine equipment that can be used again and again, whereas in the case of circulating capital or working capital, the capital goods that can be used only once in the production. We cannot use twice, thrice. Same capital goods cannot be used twice or thrice. So that is your circulating capital or a working capital. Now next one. Okay, next type of capital we have called sunk capital. Sunk capital. So it is the type of capital which can only put it to a single use. That can be put to a single use. Okay, we cannot use the same capital goods for different purpose. That can be used for single use. A type of that can be used for single that can be used for the production of single goods, okay, which we cannot use twice, thrice, okay. So that type of capital goods can be considered as sunk capital. Once use will be only once, okay, and that capital goods cannot be used for many purposes. That can be only used for one purpose, okay. I will give you one example. In the case of this printing machine, so this printing machine can be used for only printing, okay. This can be used for only printing purpose. Now I will explain you why it is different from a working capital or circulating capital. So we have done that in the case of circulating capital or working capital, that can be used for only once. So working capital is used for only once, but this can be used for only one purpose, okay. That is the difference. That will be used for only once, like I have given the example of cotton, okay, or raw materials. Once we will use, or fuel, once we will use, we will not be able to use next time. But that fuel can be used for 2 or 3 purposes, okay. That fuel can be used for running a generator also. That fuel can be used for a vehicle also. So there are 2-3 uses of that fuel. Whereas in the case of this printing machine, that printing machine cannot be used to produce clothes. So there is only one use, single use, okay, single use of this printing machine. So that type of capital is called sunk capital, okay. I hope you have understood the difference between sunk capital and the working capital. Working capital can be used only once, okay. Only once means whatever may be the items, whether it is raw material or fuel, that once we will use, that will finish. Whereas in the case of this sunk capital, that can be only used for single purpose. Single purpose means single use, okay. Printing machine is one of the best example, and that printing machine cannot be used for any other purposes. Whereas in the case of working capital, that fuel or raw materials can be used for 2 or 3 purposes. Okay, now next one we have floating capital, okay. floating capital, that capital used for alternative lines of production. The capital goods that can be used for the capital goods that can be used for alternative lines of production. Alternative lines of production means that capital goods can be used for another purpose also, or maybe for more than two purposes, and that type of capital is called floating capital. I will give you one example. Electricity. Example. Electricity can be used for two or more purposes. Okay, that electricity can be used for either lighting purpose, or that can be used for cooking also, that can be used for cleaning also, that can be used for many purposes. So that type of capital is called floating capital. Okay, we can take another example. Steel. Steel is one of the metal, and that can be used for various purposes. Even wood. This wood can be also used for making houses, making furnitures, and other essential items. Similarly, this steel can be used for making utensils, and as well as making bus bodies, or maybe making the bodies of car. So steel has several uses or many uses. Similarly, electricity. So if the capital goods that have alternative uses or alternative lines of production, then that type of capital goods is called floating capital. Now next one we have remunerative. Okay, remunerative capital. So the payment made to the workers for their contribution to the production. Okay, the payment made to the workers for their production is called remunerative capital. So once again check it. The payment made to the workers for their contribution in the production is called remunerative capital. So whenever we are making payment to the workers for their contribution in the process of production, it's called remunerative capital. Example we can take wages given to the laborers. Okay, wages or salaries given to the workers for their contribution in the production. Okay, contribution in the production, maybe the production of any items. Okay, when we are making payment to the workers for their contribution in the process of production, like wages or the salaries given to the workers, so that type of capital is called remunerative capital. Okay, now next one we have auxiliary capital. auxiliary capital. Okay, so man-made capital goods like machine equipments that helps the laborers. Okay, we can see that man-made capital goods. Here, the capital goods includes machine equipments, tools. Okay, machine equipments, tools, etc. that helps the Okay, once again check it. What is auxiliary capital? Auxiliary capital is a man-made capital goods. That capital goods may be machine, equipments, tools, any machinery items, okay, that helps the labor in the process of production. So we know that when the laborers are using any machine equipments, their work will be easier. Okay, that use of machinery equipments will make the work of that worker much convenient, much easier. Okay, so that type of capital goods can be considered as auxiliary capital goods. Okay, that helps the labor in the process of production. As we have seen while constructing the roads, okay, highways, we have seen that they are breaking the big rocks. So it is not possible for the laborers to break that big piece of rocks without the use of that machinery. So when the laborers is using the machinery to break the big piece of rock or to remove the blockage of that roads, so we can say that that type of capital can be considered as an auxiliary capital. Now next one we have real capital. Okay, real capital. So what is real capital? Real capital refers to the physical stock of goods which is used as inputs. Okay, physical stock of capital goods. Okay. Okay, physical stock of capital goods which is used as inputs in the process of production. Okay, so that type of capital goods can be considered as a real capital. Once again, what is real capital? A stock of physical stock of capital goods, okay, that can be used as inputs in the process of production. What we are using as inputs. So what could be that inputs? That inputs could be machine, equipments, tools. So example, we can take example here, machine, equipments, tools, etc. So these all are the example of a real capital. Okay. Now next one we have material capital. Okay, so what is that material capital? Material capital consists of tangible form and which can be transferred from one to another. Okay, what is this tangible form? So material goods are that type of tangible goods, okay, that can be easily transferred from one person to another person for the use in the process of production. Suppose say today I am using one machine, okay, and if I am able to transfer that machine from myself to some other workers, and if some other workers are able to use that machine equipments or tools, then that type of capital goods is called material capital goods. So what is material capital goods? Once again, it is the physical tangible goods that can easily be transferred from one person to another for the process of production. As I have given the example, suppose say today I am using one of the machine or equipments, and if that machine and equipment is used by some other workers, or if I easily transfer, no, today I am not use that machine, you use it. So when somebody is using that machine, means here I have transferred that machine from one person to another person. So that type of material goods can be considered as a material capital. Now next one we have internal capital. Internal capital. So here you have to understand the capital which is the result of domestic savings in the country. Okay, the capital goods which is the result of domestic savings in the country. So how this internal capital arises? This internal capital arises due to the domestic savings in the country. Whether that saving is done by an individual or maybe that saving is done by the country or nation as whole. So when they are saving that money, and if they are using that money for purchasing any machinery equipments, then that type of capital goods, whatever they have generated by their savings, can be considered as internal capital. When our government is purchasing any machine or equipments or producing that machine or equipments for our domestic use, so that can be considered as internal capital. Now next one we have external capital. External capital. So what is external capital? The capital which is imported from abroad. Okay, by suppose say our country is the recipient of that capital goods. Okay, suppose say that World Bank or international financial institutions, Asian development banks, when they are supplying or when they are providing a capital for purchase of any machine or equipment, so we can say that whatever we have imported from abroad, okay, can be considered as external capital. Okay, and who will be the recipient in that case? If India is the recipient, India is receiving whatever the capital goods, it is received by India from other countries or other financial institution, then that type of capital can be considered as external capital. Okay. Now next one we have consumption capital. Next type of capital we have consumption capital. So what is consumption capital? The capital which is used by the workers or individuals for their direct satisfaction. Okay, once again listen, what is consumption capital? The capital goods which is directly used by an individual or workers for their satisfaction. Okay, that can be considered as a consumption capital. So especially food, clothing, okay, these all are the part of that consumption capital. Foods and clothes for workers or an individual can be considered as a part of consumption capital. Okay. Now next one we have human capital. So this is very important point. Okay, what is human capital? Human capital means stock of people, those who are educated, skilled, talented, and those who are trained. So this trained So what is human capital? Human capital are the stock of human beings that are trained, educated, skilled. Okay? Or we can say that trained, educated, skilled, a group of people can be considered as a human capital. So whatever the knowledge, okay, training received by an individual, and if that person can contribute something in the process of production, then that type of capital is called human capital. Human capital includes all the skilled workers, lawyers, doctors, engineers. Okay, they are using their brain, they are using their skill, knowledge, talent, and making the production process much easier, convenient. So that type of capital is called human capital. Okay, so next topic we have capital formation. Okay, so here you have to understand the definition. What is capital formation? So capital formation means addition to the stock of capital. Okay, addition to the stock of capital, or the process of adding a capital stock can be considered as capital formation. The process of adding Okay, so once again, what is capital formation? Addition of, it is the process of adding of stock of capital in a particular year is called capital formation. So capital, when the number of buildings, factories, machinery, equipments increases over period of time, then we can say that the process of capital formation is taking place. Now we can take one more example. Suppose say at the beginning of the year, the total number of machinery equipments in our country is suppose say 1 lakh. Okay, now suppose say this is the year 2019. Now at the end of the year, suppose we have number of machines, suppose say 1,50,000. So what is the addition of capital here? 1,50,000 minus 1,50,000 minus 1 lakh. If you do 50,000 will be the addition of stock of capital. So this is the number of machines. Okay, number of machines. Once again, try to understand what is capital formation. As I have said, capital formation means the process of adding of stock of capital over period of time. okay, over period of time or over particular year. Now here, suppose say at the beginning of the year 2019, the number of machine equipments in our country is suppose say 1 lakh. For example, that is the number of machine. Now at the end of the year, suppose say the number of machinery equipments increases to suppose say 1,50,000. So the difference between, okay, the difference between these two, whatever the number of machinery equipments it has increased at the end of year, the difference between these two will give you the capital formation. So what is the capital formation? 50,000 machines can be considered as capital formation. Now when the machinery equipments, factory buildings increases in a country, that explain that country is becoming more rich, country is becoming more wealthy, and the productive capacity of a country is slowly increasing. And when productive capacity of a country increases, obviously the employment generation will take place. At the same time, the productivity will increase, our country will become rich, okay, and all this capital formation depends on that savings, okay. Now if the people are saving more income, then that income will be invested, and once it is invested, we can say that the capital formation is taking place. So here we can say that capital formation and investment are synonymous, okay, means both are same. The concept of capital formation and investment is same. We can say that it is the increment in the capital stock or addition of capital stock. Now we will move to the process of capital formation, okay. Process of capital formation. So this process of capital formation involves 3 stages, okay. This process of capital formation three stages, okay. Number 1, we have generation of savings, okay. Number 2, mobilization of savings. And number 3, we have investment, okay. So first here you have to understand what is the first stage. The first stage is generation of savings. Next one we have mobilization of savings, and next one we have investment, okay. So we can see that this generation of saving, how saving is generated? Saving is generated from the individuals, business firms, okay, and government can also save some part of income which is collected in the form of tax and non-tax revenue. Now we will discuss this first step, generation of savings. So Keynesian economics says that saving is equals to investment. So when the saving of a country increases, obviously the investment will also increase, okay. When saving increases, investment will also increase. Now here we have to understand, when the people are saving their income, whatever the income that is left after consumption is considered as saving. So income left after consumption is called savings, okay. So if the saving increases with the people, then only the investment will increase, okay. And when investment increases, the capital formation will take place. Now this saving may be of a different type. One may be household savings, business savings, and number 3 we have government savings. So what is that household savings? As I said, the savings done by the different individual, okay, or a group of family members, whatever the income, they are saving after the consumption, that are household savings. Okay, next one, business saving. So when the business firms are saving some part of income, okay, whichever is earned in the form of profit, so that is business saving. And the government saving, saving of the government, from where the government will save whatever the revenue they have collected in the form of tax revenue and non-tax revenue, and if they are saving some part of that income, then that is your government saving. So these 3 types of saving play important role in the process of capital formation. So when saving increases, okay, next what will happen? Investment will increase, and when investor takes more loan from the bank and investing in any business purpose, obviously the capital formation will take place. So that is the first step. Now second stages we have mobilization of savings. Okay, so whatever the income that is saved by the different individual or business firms or the government with the banks. So here, this who will channelize the savings done by different individuals, business firms or the government. So your bank or the financial institutions. Financial institutions play a very important role in mobilization of savings. Okay, so financial institutions are the one who brings lenders and borrowers together. Okay, whatever the amount of money and savings, that savings will be mobilized by who is mobilizing that? This financial institution. So we can consider this financial intermediaries. Financial intermediaries. So these financial intermediaries or the financial institution or the banks are the middlemen. They are collecting the savings from different individual, business firm or the government, and that savings will go to the financial institution, and this financial intermediary will provide loan to the investor. So investors, they will take loan from the banks, okay, from this financial intermediary, and through that they will be investing in their different business, and through that they can increase the process of capital formation, or they can add the stock of capital. So that is the second process. So here financial institutions channelize the savings done by household firm, business firms or the government, and they may provide loan to the investors, those who are willing to invest. So they may get loan from the bank, and then they can invest in their business, and once they are investing means they can increase the process of capital formation, or they may add the capital stock in the country, and that helps the process of capital formation. Now the third step we have investment. Third stage we have so who is doing investment? As I said, investor. Okay, investor. Investment. So who is providing funds to invest? The banks are providing funds to invest. So when they are providing funds to invest, what they will do that they will invest in the different business. They may install more number of machine equipments, they may increase the number of factory buildings in a country, and once the number of building factories, okay, machinery equipments increases in the country, means the investment is taking place. So this is the final stage in which we can see that the whatever the machinery equipments that has been purchased by the investor or installed by the investor, that will be operating, and once it will start operating, once it will start producing different items, okay, once it will start generating some income for an individual or maybe for a country, then we can see that this is the final stages of process of capital formation, and capital formation may takes place. So these are the three important stages involved in the process of capital formation. Number one, we have generation of saving. Number two, mobilization of saving. Number three, investment. So once again, how generation of savings takes place? Generation of savings takes place from household savings, business savings, as well as government savings. Now next one, mobilization saving. Who will mobilize the saving done by the different organization, maybe a business firm, government, or different individual. So bank or the financial institution or the financial intermediaries are there. They act as a middleman, and they brings the lenders and borrowers together. Whatever the income it is saved by the different individuals with the bank will provide a loan to the investor, and investor will take loan from the bank and they will invest in their different business activity. Once it is invested and once it will start generating some income for them, then we can say that this is the final stages of process of capital formation, and investment will start generating some income for that individual or maybe for the country. So these are the three important stages involved in the process of capital formation.